Our next speaker is Russell Kempt. He is the Vice President of Worldwide Sales and Marketing at Nanosys, where he oversees strategic partnerships and drives Nanosys' top line. Prior to Nanosys, Russell was VP of Global Sales at Intermolecular and made a significant contribution to their IPO. I think they just got acquired, didn't they? Yeah. He was also a sales executive at PDF Solutions. Please welcome Russell Kempt.
So thank you for the great introduction by Ross. It is really a pleasure to be here with you all today. This event here, SID Display Week for us, is like our Super Bowl event. This is the most important event for us of the entire year, and we plan for it all year. So I feel like today we've had the coin toss, we've had the kickoff, and we're starting to get deep into the game. So it's very, very exciting to be here with you. The topic of my talk today is Quantum Dots Join the Party. And what I'm going to talk about is all the different consumer brands and companies that have decided to join the Quantum Dot party and why they're doing so. I'm also going to talk about quantum dot technology and what is coming just around the corner in the next 12 months or so. And then I'm going to talk about the ultimate flexible, printed, transparent quantum dot electroluminescent display technology. So let's jump right in, and of course I have to give a 2-slide infomercial for those of you that don't know Nanosys. Nanosys is the leading quantum dot company, full stop, in any metric. So if you want to talk about our materials, our completely cadmium-free, heavy metal-free materials, we have the highest performance in terms of quantum yield or narrowest full-width half-max or blue photon conversion efficiency. We are also the innovation leader. We have over 400 patents granted or pending, and a lot of that IP is very early on seminal IP. So we really set the foundation for all of this innovation that's happening in the industry, and we are delighted to see year after year more and more patent filings related to quantum dot technology, and obviously that's a really good thing to move this technology ahead. We make quantum dots in the largest volumes of any company in the world. So not only do we have the best performance, we also have the best price because we make it in large volumes and economies of scale, and we have a fully automated manufacturing process. And today I'm going to talk to you about the tier 1 customer base that we have, all the different consumer brands that are joining the quantum dot party. One more quick slide about Nanosys. We are a specialty materials supplier. We make quantum dots, we don't do anything else. In the past, we did design and license some quantum dot components, but that was really just to teach the industry how to properly use our materials. We do continue to invest very heavily in the future. As a small company, it's actually quite painful. We invest over 30% of our top line revenue back into research and development. And I think it's also important for us here, we're in the business conference here in the industry, to think about we need to have healthy suppliers who can afford to make a profit and afford to invest. Because we're all on this technology treadmill together. The market wants us to keep innovating. We have to do that, and we need to be able to continue to invest. So back to the topic, we're a materials supplier. Today you're going to hear me talking a lot about TV products. And it's not because I don't love mobile phones. I love my Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus RGB OLED phone. But it takes over 110 of these to make up one 65-inch display. So you think about that, and we're a materials supplier, so we're obviously very, very focused on TV. Of course, we have other products. We have other products that are in the monitors and other spaces, but TV is really important for us. For those of you who are not familiar with what quantum dot technology is, quantum dot technology, or quantum dots, are a very tiny nanocrystal, somewhere between the size of a water molecule and a DNA molecule. But being really tiny is not what makes quantum dots special, and it's not what makes them important for the display industry. What makes quantum dots special is their ability to leverage the quantum confinement effect. And in simple terms, that's basically absorbing various wavelengths of light in the photoluminescent application and then re-emitting them in a very specific peak wavelength of light. Or in the electroluminescent application, being stimulated by electricity, by a current, and emitting a specific peak wavelength. That attribute is very valuable to the display industry because it provides for greater color, wider color gamut, and better, brighter, more efficient displays. So let's talk about who's joined the quantum dot party already. And I'm going to start off with the most controversial. I'm going to start off with picture quality. And the reason this is very controversial is because everyone has a different opinion. It's very subjective what is overall picture quality. But hopefully here among this group, we can agree on a few attributes that make up picture quality. I would say one of them is you have to have adequate resolution. You need to have a pixel that is relatively invisible to the eye. So obviously that depends on how big is that display and how close is it to the viewer. 2, you need to have adequate brightness for whatever environment you're looking at that display in. You also need to have sufficient color where it represents things like you're used to seeing them, like in nature. And in fact, brightness and color are the top 2 performance attributes that consumers always rank the highest in terms of what they're looking for in picture quality. You need to have good contrast ratio, you need to have high dynamic range, you need to have good blacks. All of these things make up picture quality. And in our opinion, at Nanosys, we believe the prime example today of just beautiful picture quality for a display and for a TV is this Vizio P-Series Quantum X for 2019. This TV has 3,000 nits peak brightness, so that's more than 3 times brighter than any OLED set that has ever been available to the consumer. It has the widest color gamut of any display in the market. It has nearly 400 full array local dimming zones, so it gets that amazing contrast, HDR effect, and great blacks. They've already been winning some good awards since the Consumer Electronics Show. This product will be available in your retailers you go to here in the US and online in the next 45 days. I want to mention the set that they had last year, the previous model, was the Vizio P65 Quantum. So they did not have an X model, so it was one step down. We showed that at Display Week last year at our booth, and we literally had people standing around for more than half an hour watching the demo reel, which is just a couple of minutes, go over and over and over again. We had one super enthusiastic guy. He didn't work for Nanosys. He doesn't work for Vizio. And he took it upon himself to just stand there for over an hour and explain all the attributes of this TV and why it was so great and sing the praises of it. So it's really an amazing, beautiful picture quality and viewing experience. Next, I'm going to talk about contrast ratio. And contrast ratio is extraordinarily important. But just like brightness and other attributes, it's really important to consider contrast ratio in the environment in which you will look at that display. So you might hear our competition talk a little bit about infinite contrast ratio. Well, I got news for you. No one is watching a display in a completely black, dark environment. It doesn't happen. So you need a display that can perform in a high brightness or with at least light pollution so you can see the contrast ratio and you can see that display clearly when you're looking at it in a normal environment. I don't think any of you have blackout blinds in your living rooms, probably not even in your bedrooms. And this is an example here, a super innovative example of contrast ratio. So not only this Hisense ULED XD model, which will be available in the first quarter of next year, not only are they using quantum dots to achieve wide color gamut, and also brightness. This is a 4,000 nits peak brightness set, but they've done something super innovative and super creative, and I just want to take my hat off here and just compliment them on this level of innovation. So what they've done here with the XD model, you can see they're using quantum dots for brightness and color gamut, but in the middle there, they have a dual liquid crystal stack. And basically what they've done here is they have bonded together 2 4K cells. So that back 4K cell effectively acts like a light shutter, and it provides this XD display with 8.3 million zones of light control. Truly amazing innovation. Our industry impresses me every year when I see these kinds of things coming along. And they also claim that they're able to achieve greater than 100 times the black levels of the high-end LCD TVs today. So again, great innovation. Let's talk a little bit about resolution. I think all of us here would agree that resolution in terms of 4K is already table stakes. Nobody's going to buy a TV today that's not a 4K TV. And there's tons of content out there, and it's really important. Now I'm starting to notice some people in the audience here with a smirk on their face because they're thinking, okay, 8K. Do we really need 8K? Do we need that kind of resolution? There's no content out there. And you're right, there is very little content out there today. But Samsung is doing an amazing job with their artificial intelligence in upscaling the content that's available out there today and showing these ultra-high resolution displays the performance that they can be achieved. The Samsung products, there's already 6 models. They're going to be 8K models this year. I think they're going to do very, very well. The Consumer Technology Association says over 200,000 units will be sold here this year of 8K models, and we're very excited about this technology. The reason I'm talking about higher resolution in 8K in relation to quantum dots is not only do we give you the brightness and the color gamut that's very beneficial to 8K, but the competing technology has serious challenges in getting into the higher resolution game because the pixel density is much denser. And so they have to make trade-offs between decreasing luminance, decreasing color gamut. Well, wait a second, those are the top 2 attributes I told you consumers want. Or they have to have further risk of burn-in, which is already a problem in UHD and 4K. So these are not the kind of trade-offs you want to be making in the future, and I believe that the 8K technology is going to be very beneficial and increase the adoption of quantum dot technology. Form factor is another area I want to talk about. Many of you may remember my talk from last year here at this same conference. I told you the quantum dot on glass technology was coming in the next 12 months. In fact, I called it QDOG, is what we call it internally, and it has indeed arrived. It's been here since the first quarter. This product, the Hewlett-Packard 27-inch Pavilion QD on-glass monitor, is a beautiful monitor for home or office use. It's available for sale right now on Amazon for $399, a great price point, and it is the thinnest monitor ever available to the consumer, at less than 7 millimeters in total thickness. Truly a beautiful form factor. So quantum dots are enabling that already here today. In the future, when we talk about electroluminescence, we'll have all kinds of innovative form factors because you will have flexible, printable, transparent displays. Can be in any kind of format, any kind of form factor you want, but today, quantum dots are already enabling that. There were nearly 70 different products that were shown at the Consumer Electronics Show in relation to quantum dot technology this year. Almost 2 times more than there were the previous years. This is a trend we continue to see year after year after year. There are 11 consumer electronics brands that have joined the quantum dot party. On this slide here, I'm just highlighting the displays that we have in our booth here at SID Display Week. And of course, we welcome you to come by, take a look, give us your feedback, give us your criticism, whatever. We'd love for you to see these products and hear what you think, but we've got a bunch of them here in our booth. According to Bob O'Brien here at DSCC, quantum dots have outsold OLED technology in TVs for the past several years and are predicted to continue to do so for the foreseeable future. Based on this data, we're projecting a almost 23% compound annual growth rate in terms of area, which obviously as a material supplier is very good. And they're doing so because of the technical performance and the form factor and the 8K compatibility and all the things I just spoke to you about, but they're doing so also for another reason. And that is the cost to implement quantum dots has come down radically. And I don't like to use the word radically because I really don't like that word very much, but it's appropriate in this case. So if you pay attention to the quantum dot technology space and you read the reports, you may have noticed from IHS and Touch Display Research in the first quarter, they mentioned that the cost to implement quantum dot technology in a state-of-the-art 4K TV, in terms of the BOM, the build of materials, is the same as not implementing quantum dot technology. What did I just say? I'm waiting for people to scratch their heads here or whatever. So I'm saying the cost of implementing quantum dots is 0. How can that be? So many of the state-of-the-art TV makers today are making higher brightness displays, leveraging a highly loaded quantum dot film to achieve that brightness, and they're able to save on one of the brightness improvement films that's well known in the industry that happens to be the same cost, or in some cases more, than the quantum dot enhancement film. So we believe at Nanosys that we are truly at the tipping point in terms of adoption of quantum dot technology, and we believe that this forecast, hopefully we can outperform this forecast this year and in the next couple of years. Let's talk about next generation displays. In the next 12 months, the quantum dot technology that is coming is the quantum dot color conversion technology. Quantum dot color conversion technology is universal in terms of being applied to any type of backlight technology, whether that's high brightness LEDs, micro LEDs, mini LEDs, or blue OLED backlight. You may have heard some of the different research reports that are claiming that Samsung SDC will have 700,000 blue OLED quantum dot color conversion sets in 2021. We believe there are other products that are coming even sooner. We have these materials today in a photolithography-based system, photoresist, we've developed with Sumitomo, in an inkjettable system from DIC. You can see here very, very good color uniformity, very little blue light leakage, and these are in very thin film formats. The equipment set's ready to go, obviously, on the photoresist side. Those have been in use for many years on the color filter technology. I believe the inkjet systems are here as well. I'm looking forward to my friend Mei Su coming up on the stage after me and telling us some of the progress that's been made from Cativa. We think it's all ready to go. The materials are here, the equipment's here. The benefits of quantum dot color conversion technology is in efficiency and brightness. Depending on your architecture, how you design that product, you can get 2 times brighter display or 2 times better efficiency or greater. You also radically can increase the viewing angle because the emitter is very close to the front of the screen. And since quantum dots are an isotropic emitter, you get a very, very good viewing angle. Let's move forward and talk about the ultimate flexible printed display. And there's a few attributes of quantum dot electroluminescent technology and materials that make them extremely well suited for the future of displays. First of all, it is very, very easy to do spectrum engineering with quantum dot materials. You simply change how you grow that nanocrystal, and you grow a larger core or a smaller core to change the peak wavelength of emission. It literally takes us days to run a new batch of quantum dots. We do this all the time. We do this for our quantum dot enhancement films. We do this for the quantum dot color conversion. And so if somebody comes to us and they say, Russell, I don't want a 530 green. I want a 532, I want a 534, I want a 528, whatever. It doesn't matter. We can make that for them and get it to them within days or weeks. Somebody comes to us and they say, I want a beautiful red BT 2020 640. I don't want 630. We can make that material and get it to them within weeks. This is a huge advantage to enable the right color coverage and the right brightness that the future of display requires. No other material system can do that easily. The OLED small molecule, you got to go back in and resynthesize. It can take a very long time. Could take years to change peak wavelengths depending on where you're going. You want to do that with LEDs, you need a completely new material system. And you need a manufacturing process that will allow you to do that. So again, years or maybe even a decade, depending on where you're trying to go to change that peak wavelength. Brightness is not a problem for quantum dot technology. We've already talked about how today's displays are driving towards brighter and brighter requirements. But new applications that are going to become more and more prevalent, such as public information displays, need to be brighter. We hear from people making augmented reality sets that they need greater than 500,000 nits peak brightness. For quantum dots, it's not a problem. Quantum dots have been proven to be brighter than the sun coming up over the horizon, so no limitation there. Solution processability is another great advantage of quantum dot technology. So all of the things you're familiar with in terms of quantum dot electroluminescent technology have been solution processable, from great work that was done by Seoul National University very early on in transfer printing. All of the demos that you've seen here at SID Display Week over the past couple of years and other conferences, every single one of these has been an inkjet processed quantum dot electroluminescent display. And I'm not going to do a spoiler here, but I am going to tell you that this week you are going to see some amazing, beautiful quantum dot electroluminescent displays, inkjet printed, here at this show. And they're going to blow your mind. They're amazing. Great progress has been made. Quantum dots have also been proven to be gravure printed capable, so that's an extremely low-cost way of making displays for certain types of applications. Again, everything is solution processed, no expensive vacuum-based deposition for the quantum dot technology. Cost, of course, here is a big thing that basically really modulates how our industry grows and where displays are used. The quantum dot materials are much less expensive to make because they don't require semiconductor-grade purification. So they're much lower cost to make. In fact, our CEO mentioned at the QD Forum about a month and a half ago that on a per gram basis, quantum dots are already less expensive than phosphors. Super cheap to make. In addition to that, you have the lack of need for expensive vacuum-based deposition equipment, which requires those long depreciation cycles. Quantum dots is predicted to be, is already much less expensive than OLED materials and predicted for the foreseeable future to be a more cost-advantageous material system for making displays. We've made excellent progress on our quantum dot materials development. I'm not going to spoil Dr. Ray Ma's presentation this Friday at the show. He's the head of our quantum dot electroluminescent development. So he's got a lot of information to share with you, and if you're interested in this technology, I welcome you to join that presentation and see what you think. We think it's really, really compelling and very exciting progress that's been made. We've also submitted a paper here that you should take a look at that's already received the distinguished paper recognition here in the conference, so we're very proud of that. Top 15% of all papers, I believe. But the thing I also want to direct you to, or I want to mention to you, is that we co-authored that paper with our joint development partner who we've been working with for quite some time. And that joint development partner is LG Display. So I think you can see here from my talk that truly every significant display company, every consumer brand company has joined the quantum dot party. And of course, we welcome you to join the quantum dot party and use our technology. If you're designing new displays or if you have questions, we'd love to answer those for you. I want to also just take a moment here and invite you to an actual quantum dot party, which is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So if you're interested in having some food and drinks and hanging out with us, please come see me after my talk and I'll get you an invitation and would love to see you there. Thank you very much.